Primal Chaos. Hey guys, Primal Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Now, in what can only be described as like a colossal failure of management and the powers that be, a decision was made to put together two relatively lackluster acts with very little in the way of following or hype to create a song that no one's really going to care about. Now, of course, I'm kidding. I could just, all of these hands just went to keyboards like, you know, but bear with me, I'm just joking around. Wow, who saw this one coming, huh? Band-Maid and The Warning. Contrary to what I said in the opening there, two acts that have incredibly rich and diverse followings, so much hype, so much history. I believe Band-Maid probably being around a little bit longer than The Warning. I could be wrong. I don't know. The Warning have been around for a lot longer than I've known about them. So, but boy, oh boy, when I saw this, someone mentioned in the comments about this and I was like, huh, that's something I'm going to have to check out. Because you all know I'm a big fan of not only Band-Maid, but The Warning as well. But also, and I don't want this to come off like I'm just like active. I support female artists. But let's be honest, it is a very male-dominated industry, in the rock industry, I should say. There's plenty of female pop artists and things like that, but it's one of those things where it can be really hit and miss. And you, as a female artist, you can catch a lot of negativity and a lot of, you know, just disdain and things like that. I have no idea why. I don't understand the concept of it. I feel like supporting anybody who wants to entertain you and produce art it's just the first thing on my agenda every day when I wake up. I'm like, how can I support my friends that do art? My friends will tell you, I'm always nagging them. How come I haven't seen a painting from you in like a year? What's going on? That sort of thing. But in the case of these two acts, these are completely female-oriented bands. And so for them, they're already starting off in a position whereby you're going to garner a certain amount of negativity and, you know, just people who won't give you the opportunity to express yourself just by the nature of their personality, right? Having said that, both of these guys have overcome those odds to dramatic effect and have created these colossal followings. And, you know, no one's more aware of that than people like myself who do reaction videos, and you stumble across somebody like Band-Maid and go, I'll give these guys a look. And next minute, comment sections is flooded with people who are clearly deeply invested in these acts. Same with The Warning. As soon as I did The Warning, it was like I knew within minutes, I knew everything there was to know about The Warning because of you guys in the comments. So feel free. I love it when you guys come in and try to enrich me a little bit in the comment section. Fill me in. Who are you here for? Who's your thing? Are you more Band-Maid? Are you The Warning? Whatever. I'd love to hear all of your tales about how long you've been a fan, what your favorite things are, what's something I should check out. Bear in mind, I have done several songs from both of these bands. I'm not across their material. As a reactor, I tend not to do that. I stick to just the reactions. I've got my favorite bands that I listen to, and I typically don't react to them. But, you know, I want you guys to experience the ride with me, so there's no point me spoiling that by diving deep into these guys' catalogs. And I'll get to them all eventually, but, you know, bear with me. And please let me know where I should go after this. But just do a quick search under, you know, PrymalChaos and then the band name and just see if I've done that song before. I'm going to dive right in. I've talked way too long. I'm really keen to hear what these guys came up with because this is going to be a lot of musicians doing a lot of different things. So here we go. This is Band-Maid with The Warning. So it's technically a Band-Maid song featuring The Warning. Show them. And I guess they're going to. They're going to show us. Here we go. Distortion. Strong singable melody.
I don't walk with my head anymore. I won't be the one to let you get your way.
Nice.
What makes you think I even care what you say about me? I know who I am and say the same. You can't do it, I'm saying now. Ooh. If you don't try, you'll never know. Stand and come. Going against the
Come on.
you don't want, you can always shine brighter. When you take a stand and you know
Okay, we're doubling up. All right. Oh, I apologize. You can't stop during a drum fill. Anyway, listen, I'll go back and I'll catch back up. This is very much a Band-Maid song. You can hear that, particularly through the chorus, the pentameter of the lyrics. One thing I've found a lot of times with Japanese singers, English isn't their first language, you end up with a lot of words, right? For me, it sounds almost like they're writing from the perspective of texture, of the sound of the lines, as opposed to the meaning of the words and stuff like that. Not that these don't hold meaning, of course they do, but just like there's like a tempo to it, which is indicative also in with Western artists too. But there tends to be a little bit more ebb and flow in Western melodies, Western dominant sort of pop melodies and stuff like that. Whereas, and particularly, I've said this about Band-Maid 100% of every video I've done, is that they have this way of putting in so much information into what is typically like a fairly common structure, like of a rock song, right? And they make it seem easy, and that's the beauty of them. I think the last video I used an analogy of they're like a duck, where they're playing something that you listen to and you go, yeah, this is a jam, and it's doing what it does. But unless you listen a few times, or if you know what to critically listen for, you don't see the undercurrent of all of the complexity that's going on underneath. And that's the brilliance of their artistry. Wow, this works really, really well, because either one, it's not out of pocket for either of their styles. So the Warning could just sit right in on this song, and fundamentally, because they're very similar. They do the same sort of thing. They write really tasty, crunchy, aggressive, punky sort of rock songs that on their surface seem fairly straightforward, but they're just so clever and adept at sort of putting in nuance and interesting things and things that grab your attention, And so this is a match made in heaven. This is two really good acts that sort of fit together. You almost don't know, if you're just casually looking at the video, you don't know where Band-Maid ends and the Warning begins, because they're all just doing their thing. I'm going to jump back a little bit. I want to sort of hear that chorus again. Oh, the other thing, again, typical of both of these bands, it starts with that anthemic, singable thing. So if they jumped on stage and performed this somewhere, hopefully the Grammys, if someone's listening, right, that you could imagine the crowd immediately coming in, oh, whatever that melody is, and just like it becomes an anthem for both the band and the audience. And that's just pure brilliance. I love that. Let's jump back to about here.
I even care what you say about me. I know who I am and say the same.
Cool little touch there actually is Psyche. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, roast me in the comments. If you listen to her verses, they're clean, straight, and then it cuts to Danny, who's kind of like she's bouncing the lines off her, or they each have their little parts. Danny's vocals are double tracked, which gives it a textural difference. Because, otherwise they probably wouldn't sound all that different. I think Danny's got slightly more of an aggressive onset, or a more aggressive tone. It would sound largely the same without that textural difference. Just have a listen to the difference. Yeah, see, Danny's vocals layered so that it punches a little bit harder, and it's sort of, even though it's a second line, it's still kind of now a main vocal, Very cool. I'll play it again so you can hear it. That's a single vocal. That's triple tracked. And now she's single again. Double the end. That's really clever.
Games that try to change me.
Come on.
Better bet I am the
Come on. Very cool. Hang on, let's just check that interlude again. So this is where we get to see everybody playing off each other. Begs the question though, when these two came together, be interesting to see which members of which bands were fangirling over the person opposite them. You know, like, because interestingly, if you think of Ali, she's a very creative, foundational, bedrock bass player. She knows exactly what she needs to do. She hits those marks, and she's a little bit flashy, but she's definitely creative and interesting. And then you've got Misa, who's like just completely different style. She's really flashy. She does a lot of moving around the neck. It's less foundational, even though, you know, she's still a bedrock of the band. She just sort of has like a lot more flair. And both are incredibly valid options as far as like what you would have in a rock band. It's just a choice, right? At that point, it becomes, if you're putting together a band, it's a creative choice, you know, because both of those options would be fantastic choices, but it kind of depends what direction you want to take the band in. But there's no arguing that they're completely different styles. I don't know that Ali does a lot of any funk playing or anything like that, which again, not a lot of bass players, or not every bass player does everything, right? Most pretty much all the bass players I know personally don't do funk style. They just don't. They don't do a lot of thumb work and a lot of popping and slapping and stuff like that. Most of them are fingerstyle players or pick players, and it's a completely different sort of vibe, you know? Like, think about like any basic rock band you've heard versus, say, the Chili Peppers, right? Two different options. You can have the world's best bass player in any other band against Flea, who a lot of bass players will go, Flea isn't all that everyone makes him out to be. Everyone's got opinions, but you know, it's a stylistic choice, right? And so watching these two play off each other, you're kind of like going, this is cool. You know, you get to see the best of both worlds.
You know, you can always fly higher. I'm here, don't show them all now.
Come on. They literally just figured out their signature moves, right? The interesting thing is, Danny here, she plays her little solo, and then Konami comes in. I didn't need to look up the names because there's so many people floating around in my head right now. She comes in with a completely complementary lead solo. It sounds like two phrases of the same sentence, which again is just testament to how classy these guys are, right? And then you've got Akane with, like, you know, the role with a lot of flair and a lot of flavor, and then Pow comes in with just raw aggression. You know, such a great little moment in the song. That's so cool. I'm gonna just watch it again, then I'll go through to the end.
I'm here, don't show them all now.
Oh yeah, they're just having fun at this point. This looks like a lot of fun.
You know who you are, let them know that they'll have to take it. I'm here, go show them all
Cool ending. Dude, that was great. That was just so much fun, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. Collaborations like this aren't about setting a new benchmark or anything like that. It's about just having a blast and doing something that people aren't like expecting, right? This came out of nowhere. I don't follow either of these bands on socials, really. I don't think, anyway, or anything like that. So I didn't get any warning about this coming up. And so when it hit me, I was like, oh, it's a foregone conclusion. I got to react to this. I got exactly what I expected, and that was a cool mashup of styles, a little bit of flair from both sides of the camp, and just a good time, just heaps of fun. And that's, who could ask for anything more? That's what rock and roll is. That's what this is. That's why I said at one of the, I think I might have done the warning recently, and I said rock and roll is in safe hands, you know, and it really is, because these guys are just taking the DNA of everything that's come before as far as rock and hard rock and things like that, and they're just modernizing it, distilling it down, making it palatable for maybe a different audience than what was traditionally, you know, interested in this kind of thing. And they're just wizards. They know exactly what they're doing. They know who they are. They know how to leverage that into, you know, really, you know, through really good songwriting, just coming up with little interesting anecdotal parts that make their little pieces stand out. Because the challenge with rock is when you're doing straight down the line, 4 on the floor rock and roll, there's only so many places you can go. And there's been so much historically that it's hard to come up with anything new and nuanced. And the way that these guys do that really well is by imbuing the songs with their own character, first of all, but always coming up with really creative little changes and beat drops and things like that that pique your interest at different points throughout the song. So it keeps you interested and it keeps you entertained. And then, of course, the biggest thing is that they just put 100% of themselves into it. They're authentic. You can feel it. You can sense that these aren't just a bunch of artists that there's some evil overlord record producer going, you need to do this, blah, blah, blah. And they're just there for your entertainment. These guys are doing it for the love and the passion of what they're doing. And that's blatantly obvious. Anyway, thanks again for sticking around this long if you have. If you feel like supporting my channel at all, just feel free to buy me a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description. Or, you know, like, share, follow, subscribe. Obviously, a lot of you guys are part of communities and stuff like that. Feel free to share this video if you got anything out of it. I really appreciate it. You guys are great. Thanks again. Stay primal. I'll catch you on the next one.